good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Austin. I trust that you are well this glorious day. It is October 6th, 2022, in the year of our Lord, and I trust that you are well today. It's a great day. Weather's beautiful. It's always, it's terrible. It's always really nice after a storm. Now, I know that a lot of people, who in our state down in Southwest Florida are cleaning up from a horrible thing. Even people cleaning up from flood damage all the way, through the center of the state, like Orlando and that area. Even in Orange County, in Orange County, and in Orange Park and that whole county, just south of Duval. I used to live in that county. I don't remember what it's called right now. Clay County. There you go. And at least they're not trying to rebuild, in a storm. So my advice to everyone is to stay as calm as you can, work until you're tired, get as much rest as you can, keep your wits about you, and pray a lot. There you go. That's what we're doing for you down here. All right. Wow. Absolutely wow. Did you see Governor DeSantis standing behind the presidential seal when the president was in Fort Myers? I'll show you that. I'll find a picture and show it to you later. For those of you who are watching the video. Oh, the optics are just fabulous. Anyway, we've got a lot of stories for you to cover, so we're going to do that as soon as we take time for these messages. All righty. Well, thank you ever so much for spending some time with us this morning. Again, my name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We are thrilled to be here again today, covering what we have to cover. Yeah, I found those pictures of Governor DeSantis behind the presidential seal. It's pretty funny. We'll put those in the video right as we end. So watch till the end, and that way you'll get to see those pictures if you haven't seen them before. All right. And again, if you're oops, sorry. And there we are. Welcome back. To those of you who are listening, we appreciate you listening. And if you want to see if you guys who want to see the pictures of Governor DeSantis behind the presidential seal, you're going to have to watch the video. The video is on fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com, as well as Rumble and YouTube. Thank you very much. We need just a few to get to 500, to get to half of our goal on YouTube. We need 30, blah, blah, blah. Let me see. I'm going to make sure before I go into the first story, because I want to be, to keep this in your mind as much as I can. Because if I don't, I can't depend on you. I can't depend on people who have other stuff to do. To remember, we need 32. We need 32 more subscribers to get to 500 on YouTube. Now, 500 doesn't give us anything. It's just the next milestone before we get to 1,000. I will probably have a milestone at 750, and then another one at 500. So we need 32 to get to 500. So if you would help out, all you have to do is go to YouTube and subscribe to Fightback Media Group. That would be awesome. All right, let's get with the stories. The stories. Let's see here. Let's do this one. Now, you remember, was it last summer or summer before last? There was a big hoo-ha about Hunter Biden's laptop, Hunter getting this really cushy gig with in Ukraine, being the on the board of one of the petroleum companies. Now, you guys know experience in that, but the problem was that we found that out and it was all happening while his dad was vice president. that seemed a bit sketch, didn't it, to you? I mean, imagine if the same thing had been Donald Jr. That's how you know. Just take the people out and put different people in and see if it smells the same. Yeah, it would have been a huge deal. Um, a lot of people said, in the 2020 election that they might have possibly, and I wonder about this, voted differently had they known more about Hunter and Hunter's relationship to Ukraine, Hunter's relationship to China. They might have changed their mind on how they voted. They might have. That's what they say now. I don't know if they would have or not. I'm not saying that they would have or they wouldn't have, because on YouTube I can't say that because I don't know. But there have been reports that people wish they had known more. And because when the New York Post story came out, social media just down, chopped it down, chopped it off. People were losing their accounts because they would repost something about the Hunter Biden's laptop and the story from the New York Post. People were getting kicked off the internet, losing all their followers. The whole nine. It was social media getting. That a word? Social media getting? Not really. It's stupid, but it really was. It was information getting. If you were pushing that narrative or you were just repeating it from the New York Post, you were pushing misinformation, and then you had to be silenced. That's how it was. And I don't know. It still may be to a degree. So, according to fresh reporting from the Washington Post today, federal investigators believe maybe they have, quote, sufficient evidence to charge President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, with crimes related to his taxes and falsifying information related to a gun purchase, citing, quote, people familiar with the case. WAPO says the next step is for the U.S. attorney in Delaware, a Trump administration holdover, to decide whether to file such charges. I'll read the rest of the article and then I'll give you my opinion. As Town Hall previously reported, Hunter Biden's taxes have been the subject of significant scrutiny since the president's son discovered his finances were being investigated in December of 2020. At the time, then President-elect Biden characterized the situation as a vicious personal attacks. No, not really. When he was made aware of the investigation into his finances, Hunter said he was taking the matter very seriously, but maintained his confidence that a professional and objective review of the matters will demonstrate that I handled my affairs legally and appropriately, including with the benefit of professional tax advisors. Well, apparently that's not been the case. As it turned out, Hunter Biden's taxes were the subject of an inquiry even before the end of 2020. But the U.S. attorney in Delaware, David Weiss, heeded advice from investigators to delay action in the federal probe to, quote, avoid taking any action that could alert the public to the existence of the case in the middle of a presidential election. Everybody seems to be breaking their legs and breaking their arms, trying not to interfere with a presidential election. Vespa reported back in 2020 on some of Hunter's tax woes, including his apparent failure to report some $400,000 worth of income from Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company that figures into several other scandals swirling around the president's family. That's just the tax angle federal investigators have to consider. There's the false statements that he made while in the process of purchasing a firearm, serious crimes that carry significant penalties. It is a federal felony to lie on a firearm background check form, and the crime carries a 10-year prison sentence. The form asks an individual purchasing a firearm if they are addicted to drugs. Hunter Biden said no. This is not misinformation to say Hunter Biden had a coke problem. You know who said? You know who else said Hunter Biden had a crack problem? Hunter Biden. So you can't nick me for misinformation. Hunter Biden said he had a crack problem. Hunter Biden said he probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anybody while looking for crack rocks, right? Remains to be seen whether Hunter is actually charged based on the supposed sufficient information to support charges, and whether he receives preferential treatment due to his family and the position of his father, as supposed the leader of the free world. Uh, but Hunter, especially after um, action on his tax bill was delayed due to political consideration in 2020, should be treated as any other American under investigation without concern to what elections are looming or who his father is. For the time being, the Washington Post reports notes that U.S. Attorney Weiss, the DOJ, and FBI and IRS all refused to comment on the information about the case being ready to enter the next phase. Hunter Biden's attorney, however, claims that federal agents were leaking information about the investigation, and doing so is a federal felony. I would imagine it is. Now, my opinion that again is like armpits. Everybody's got one and they all stink. I don't think anything's going to happen. Why? Because there is, and we've seen it, there is a two-tiered justice system in America. And like George Carlin said, it's a club and you ain't in it. It's a club and I ain't in that club. The Bidens are in that club. Nothing's going to happen. As a matter of fact, this right here, if you get to watch this, the few of you who watch this may be the only time you hear anything about this. This right here, this broadcast here on Rumble, YouTube, Spreaker, wherever you listen to the podcast, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmediatv.com. This may be the only time you hear this story. Again, it's a club and you ain't in it. We don't have time today, but there is and I'll put this down in the description box. Pfizer Biotech and the European Union have come to an agreement about some things, and it's a lengthy read. It's the European Commission, Dictorate Journal for Health and Food Safety. The European Commission have come to an agreement with Pfizer, and you need to read it. I'll put that link down in the description box so you can read it yourself. We won't comment on it here. It is too involved to comment on here. All right. Let's see. Our girl, Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, has made the absurd claim that Americans don't need to compromise their religious values to be pro-abortion. Now, in my house, I often tell my family, my wife, do not listen to these people. It just because it makes my wife so angry. It just makes her so angry. I said, stop listening to these people. And this is a prime example why you can't listen to these people. While claiming to be a devout Catholic, I didn't know she was Catholic. I imagine she would be she's got Jamaican and Indian things going on in her, doesn't she? I'm not sure where the Catholic came in, but okay. She claims to be a devout Catholic. Harris declared that getting an abortion, basically killing an innocent life, has nothing to do with God or religious beliefs. Huh? So killing somebody has nothing to do with your religion. When asked what Harris would say to someone who understands why abortion should be a personal decision between a pregnant person and whomever they decide to include in the conversation. But she believed that they can't reconcile it with their faith. Harris responded that the decision should only involve the pregnant woman's decision. It should just be her decision to kill somebody, to kill her baby if she wants to. And you can be a Christian and be okay with abortion. Here's what she says. That's such an important point to raise, Harris said, adding, it is her choice and it should be her choice to make. If she chooses a consultation with a loved one, with a healthcare provider, with her faith leader. Harris then said a woman should not have to decide between religion and abortion. So a woman shouldn't have to decide between murder and her faith. Yes, she should. She says this. I say this. One does not have to abandon their faith or their beliefs to agree that the government should not be making that decision for her. That is basic. Well, no, you shouldn't have to have the government tell you not to murder because the word has already told you not to murder. The government shouldn't have to come in and tell you, but we do. That's why murder is a crime. It's a federal crime. It's a big deal. They'll put you in jail for the rest of your life. And in some places, they'll put a needle in your arm. You kill somebody, in some places, some states will kill you right back. And we shouldn't have to tell anybody not to murder anybody, but they do. Why? Because the word tells us not to murder. The word of God tells us not to murder. So, but the government has to tell us to. So yes, the government is perfectly okay for the government telling you not to murder your child. It's basic. It's basic, Vice President Harris. It's basic. So many pro-choice Democrats, we gotta stop using the word pro-choice because it's not what it is. It's pro-abortion Democrats take a hypocritical stance on the edge, fully aware that the Catholic Church condemns abortion. So the Catholics that show up and go, I'm recording this a little later, so I'm a little bit more fired up. Let me tell you something. One of the most difficult things for Christians to get through in today's society is all the so-called Christians that they encounter. It is very difficult. People who claim to be devout Catholic, Christian, whatever, and then they just go right off the rails. Let me help you. The word says that not everybody who claims Christ is of Christ. Not everybody who says they're a Christian actually is. It's easy to say, I could say I'm a ballpoint pen, but I'm not a ballpoint pen. I could tell you that I'm a 6-year-old girl. I identify as a 6-year-old girl. I'm not a 62-year-old man. Not a 6-year-old girl. I'm not a ballpoint pen. So it's really easy for people to say, well, I've been in the Catholic Church all my life. And just because you're in the garage doesn't mean you're a car. And how do we know? Well, we know by what they say. We know by what they say. It's easy to tell their fruit by what they say. Now, I don't know how devout Kamala Harris is. Doesn't seem very much to me. I don't know how devout Joe Biden is. I don't know how devout Nancy Pelosi is. Those are all supposed to be people who are Catholic. I personally have a couple of friends who are Catholic and more liberal than, you know, but they both stop with the liberal blah 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 at abortion. It's a bridge too far. So can I sit here and tell you that I don't believe that Joe Biden is a Christian, or Joe Biden is Catholic, or either is Nancy Pelosi or Kamala Harris? Yes, and I feel fairly confident, even based on this one issue. Yes, I feel confident they are not Christians. They are the paganist, heathens, humanist that they are, that you hear come out of their mouth. So how much should we listen to them? How much? Not much. We'll be back right after these messages. Yes, come over to fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. Check us out. Check us out on the website. Check us out on the podcast. We've done thousands of podcasts. You can go back years, and check out the number of shows we have. We're going to build our account on Blog Talk Radio is finally defunct. By the way, for those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know that we used to do the whole Blog Talk Radio thing. Like a lot of people. Kevin Jackson used to do that. Political Pistachio used to be on there. There are a bunch of people that you follow now, that had their start on Blog Talk Radio. And Foster Works, there's a number of us there, and it was cool. It was cool. I finally stopped using that platform, and we and I pulled off as many programs as I could, but I just haven't had time to build an archive. There were thousands. There were thousands. So I tried to save as many as I could. Some of the first ones, some of the special ones, like when we were at the Republican National Convention, and we are in the when you say we, I am in the process of building an archive for them. We got to get a website with some storage and that kind of stuff. So if you've got some info on how to do that. Now, back in the day, we just get an FTC. What they call FTCs? Yeah. File transfer, FTP. There you go, FTPs, and hook it to an FTP. But I don't think you could do that anymore. At least you can't do it for free, for sure. There needs to be a free FTPs to do that. So if you have any way to do that, because we've got like a couple of gigs of storage that we would need to put these shows in. That would be very cool. So you can send us an email at fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com if you can and are willing to be of assistance. I would highly appreciate it. All right. Otherwise, what I'm planning to do is buy another MyCloud and hook that MyCloud to the website, an archive website, which I guess is a way to do it. We've got them. Paul and I went in on a MyCloud, one of those Western Digital MyCloud, so we can transfer information back and forth when the files are too big for email. He and I went in on one of those. It works like a charm, by the way. It really does. It works fantastically. I'm able to take my phone and take a file from my phone and send it to the to our personal cloud, our business cloud, and have him be able to get it downloaded on his computer within minutes. It's fantastic. Anyway, excuse me for sneezing on you. Let's get back with the stories. Don't forget, down in the description box, the the deal that Pfizer Biotech made with the Europeans is worth a listen. All right. There's a report, excuse me, that is predicting that this life-altering transgender surgeries will be a billion-dollar industry. Now, really, before we get into this, we kind of knew this. These surgeries aren't cheap, and there isn't just one, and they go on for a while, and they take a lot of care before and after, so they can be very, very expensive. And we're having, well, some people are having their children have these surgeries. We did a piece with somebody who regretted their transition, and that piece was not up um, on YouTube. You'll have to look to Rumble for that, and please check that out. It is from a Tucker Carlson piece, but it's very sad. It's extremely sad, but you want to check that out. But this whole idea, they have found a way to make more money by, in my thought, by exploiting people who are struggling, especially young people who are struggling. The whole transitive surgery industry is expected to reach nearly a $5 billion by the end of the decade, according to a report from the Grand View Research. A report analysis indicates that the demand for, quote, gender-affirming care will accelerate in the coming years. This is so sad. The rise in incidences of gender dysphoria and the increasing number of people opting for gender confirmation surgeries are expected to boost the growth during the forecast period, reports claim. The industry saw a $1.9 billion valuation last year, putting it into motion for it to expand at a compound annual rate of more than 11% through 2030. The analysis cites a New York Times article showing that only 1 in 5 minors between the ages of 13 and 17 now identify as transgender, further proving that the popularity of gender-affirming care is also on the rise. Additionally, many patients are seeking consultations via telehealth that will reportedly have an anticipated to have a beneficial impact on the growth of the market in the upcoming years. The government is also one of the main causes of the rapid incline of life-altering surgeries. Although some insurance companies will pay for components for the procedures, Grandview Research said that government support is also driving the market through Medicare coverage. Some states, like in California, are pushing the radical progressive ideology on kids by recently signing a legislation banning health providers from aiding out-of-state attempts to stop a child from receiving gender transitions via puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, or surgery. Meanwhile, Seattle's Children's Hospital refuses to stop performing such invasive procedures on minors. According to its website, surgeries performed include face and neck surgery, adding or removing breasts, genital surgery, and body contouring. A recent study found out that 90% of minors who claim they are transgender and encouraged to transition regret their decision in adulthood. And again, if you go back and watch one of the reports on Rumble, we have a piece on there that I would not play here on YouTube. You can check it. You can check that out. All right. Well, again, thank you ever so much for spending some time with us here on the Morning Report. I really super appreciate it. And again, just like always, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.